Hello students, today our lesson is 8-2, numbers made with tens. So you have practiced counting in groups of 10, and today you are going to practice counting groups of 10 up to 100, and we're going to practice telling how many. Now I'm going to move away from this worksheet. We're going to go to a PowerPoint that I made, and we're going to start from the beginning, and we're going to look at some examples. So numbers made with tens. So I want you to look at this picture of cubes that I have on the screen, and I want you to think about a couple of things. First of all, how many cubes are there? And how do you know that each stick is a group of 10? I'm going to give you a hint. Count each cube in one group in the stick above. So when I say in one group, each stick, each horizontal stick that you see equals one group. So at this time, pause the video and talk to a stuffy, a human, or a pet and tell them how you know how many cubes are in each stick and how you know that each stick is a group of 10. Okay, so now that you've paused and you've given your answer, I'm going to count each cube in the sticks above. So let's look at this first one. Let's count together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in this stick, there are 10 cubes. So this is a group of 10. Let's try the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is also a group of 10. Let's look at the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So in answer to the question, how do you know that each stick is a group of 10? It's because that each stick has 10 ones cubes in it. Let's look at this a different way. So in the last slide, we saw the same picture. We saw 3 groups of 10. And we can say that in a sentence and say 3 tens, which are the names of these sticks. They're called tens. 3 tens is 30. Now let's practice counting these by tens. Ready? 10, 20, 30. Now it's your turn to try. So I've got these 2 different pictures here. I want you to try to count them. And on your math page that I showed you in the beginning of this, I want you to write these on number 2 and on lines number 3. And the sentence that you'll see there is blank tens is blank. So just like in the previous slide where we said 3 tens is 30, you're going to be saying the same thing, except they're going to be different numbers with these 2 pictures. Now, if you want a bit of a challenge, then I want you to try this. First of all, you got to ask your parents if you can borrow dimes that they might have lying around the house. So if you didn't know, dimes are worth 10 cents. So what that means is that they're in natural groups of 10. The next thing I want you to do is practice counting by tens. So you can lay them out as you see in the picture here. Let's look at this first one. And you can count by tens. So let's do that together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. So you would write 70 on the line here. And that's 70 cents, not $70. You can also use this worksheet to help you if you do not have dimes. Good luck, friends. Okay, let's go back to the worksheet that we are doing today. I'm going to read the inside to you in case you're working on this by yourself. So let's go to number 1, 2, 3, and 4. The directions say count by tens and write the numbers. Let's look at number 1, 10, 20, 30. There are 3 groups of 10, and that equals 30. You're going to do the same thing for number 2. You're going to count all the tens you see here. Try counting them by tens. If that's still hard for you, you can start off by counting the first one by 10 and then you can count on by ones. It might take you a little longer, but that's okay. Number 3 and number 4 are the same. Don't forget to fill out the sentences. Just like number 1 says, 3 tens is 30. You're going to do the same for all of them. Blank tens is blank. Try the do you understand? It says how many tens are in 90 and how do you know? You can draw a picture. You can just say this out loud to a stuffy, a pet, or a human. Either way works for me. Now on the next page, the directions for 5, 6, 7, and 8 say count by tens and draw the cubes, then write the numbers. So these are different because they tell you how many tens there are in each problem. Number 5 says 2 tens, number 6 says 7 tens, number 7 says 9 tens, and number 8 says 6 tens. So you are in charge of drawing the picture that goes along with them. Now, if we go back to numbers 1, 2, 3, and 4, we see pictures of sticks. So in class, we briefly practice drawing just a straight line to represent a stick of 10. You are welcome to do that. I think that would probably be the easiest thing to do instead of trying to make 10 little individual cubes. But draw a picture that's going to work for you. Number 9 says, write the missing number to complete the pattern. So this starts off counting 10, 20, blank, 40, 50, 60. You need to figure out what number is missing. All right, and here we go to the last page. I think you know by now my favorite part of the last page is the journal. So let's look at number 12. It says, Brian has a book. He reads 10 pages every day. Show how many pages Brian reads in 5 days. Use pictures, numbers, or words. You're welcome to use all of them, but you only have to pick one. Now, if you want to do number 10 and 11, I will read them to you. Number 10 says, there are 2 buses. 10 people are in each bus. How many people ride in the buses? Count by tens and draw a picture to solve. So you already have 2 buses here, and you need to add a picture to help you find out how many people are in the buses. Number 11 says Beth has 4 jars. Each jar has 10 balls in it. How many balls does Beth have in all? And you've got 4, 14, 40, 50. You need to decide what the correct answer is. All right, students. So now the last part of your math assignment for the day is the reteaching page. So let's go to that. So we are in topic 8. You're going to be getting out your math book to do this. You're going to be flipping to 8-2, and there is also a practice page in there as well. You are welcome to do that. I'm only going to explain the reteaching page. So the reteaching page at the top says Reteaching 8-2. It's titled Numbers Made with Tens. Let me read you the instructions. You can count the models to find out how many groups of 10. So we see 2 10 frames here to represent 2 groups of 10. So on the top of the first 10 frame, it says 1 10 is 10. 2 10s is 20. Now, if we go over to the rest of this picture, it shows you not a 10 frame anymore, but a stick of 10, or we can also call it 110 when we see 2 more below it. So let's read what's on the side of it. 110 is 10. 2 10s is 20. 3 10s is 30. Now let's go over to this next picture. Now we see the cubes making a cube train. So it's another way to represent 10. We saw a 10 frame, we saw a stick of 10, and now we are seeing a cube train. So at the top it says 1 10, 2 10s, 3 10s, 4 10s is, another way to say it is 10, 20, 30, and 40. And now below this, we see sentences that are representing each picture. So for example, this one says 2 10s is 20. It's representing the picture above it. 3 tens is 30, it's representing this picture. 4 tens is 40, it's representing this picture. Now let's look at number 1. Number 1 says count the models and write how many, then write the number. This is already done for you to give you an example. You have 10 frames and it's showing you 1 10 is 10. Now if we look at 2, it says 2 tens is 20. Now if we look at all 3 together, it says 3 tens is 30. And on the bottom it repeats itself, 3 tens is 30. Number 2 gets you started here at the bottom. It's letting you know that yes, there are 4 tens, but you need to go through the entire sequence just like number 1 did. So number 1 started off with 1 10, 2 tens, and 3 tens. It's the same pattern over here. This is 1 10. This is 2 tens, and I'm going to let you figure out the rest. Now, number 3, none of it is done for you. I want you to try that on your own. Okay, students, thanks for listening. I'll catch you in another video.